everyone. Welcome to Community CPA's Town Hall meeting. Thank you for joining in, and we hope everyone is well today. So today is our monthly town hall where our objective is to learn together on a particular topic. Today is obviously going to be on bookkeeping and accounting practices, but we really also want to hear from you and connect with you and address some of the concerns you have regarding this topic as well, so that you can implement it into your business, this advice that we have here, so that we can all grow together. So Ying and her team of experts are excited to dialogue this issue with you. Today here we have Erica, who is the team leader of our accounting team, which is a functional team that takes care of the bookkeeping, making sure that your statements are accurate, and getting your finances neat towards the taxes. So during the session, feel free to raise your hands, and if you want to say something and comment, you're welcome to do that, and then we'll let you unmute, and then you can ask us your question. Otherwise, feel free just to put your comments in the comment box, and we will address them throughout the meeting today. Yes, and then we also, of course, encourage you to turn on your camera and so we can see you face to face. We will do these town hall meetings once a month, so the next one is scheduled for Saturday, April 17th. So today here, as always, we have Ying Sa. Most of you already know her, but she is the CEO and managing partner of Community CPA. With extensive experience in accounting both in the US and Canada. So she is also an advocate on behalf of taxpayers. She serves on the National Taxpayer Advocacy Panel, which is an advisory committee to the IRS. And she's an author. So in 2019, she published her first book, Appointment with Ying at 8 a.m., which is a primer on starting a business. And she is currently working on her second book, her 10 a.m. book, and I'm sure she'll get to tell you about that in a minute here. So yes, with us today, as I mentioned, is Erica, and she received her degree in quantitative economics in the University of Minnesota Twin Cities, and she is up in our Bloomington branch. So you'll probably, if you are one of our accounting clients, you'll probably have met Erica or have talked to her in the past. So disclaimer, as always, we do always strive to provide accurate information, but of course things are fluid and changing. So take what is here with a grain of salt. And so that is our disclaimer as it pertains to your business. So now to the core content. In this session, I'll ask some questions. I'll address it to either to Ying or Erica, and they can dialogue about it. But again, we want this to be a free-flowing exchange, so please feel free to participate either by raising your hand and we can let you unmute, or put your question in the chat box. So welcome, Ying and Erica. Do you want to say hi and make any comments before we begin?
Sure. Hi, everyone. And we don't have a huge crowd like people at Walmart, but we do have quality people here, and we want to engage a quality conversation today. This is really kind of ordinary subject, right? It's like, what about bookkeeping? So what is so important about bookkeeping? And we do have some insight to share everyone. And, most of the businesses consider bookkeeping as an overhead, and they think that, well, I don't have to do it. Can I just do it myself? And I know some of you are actually in that business, in the bookkeeping business. So, how do you approach clients to really have them understand bookkeeping is not an overhead? It's actually, bookkeeping is almost like folding up your bed when you get up. So when you go to sleep, and your bed is clean, tidy, then you can put your body on it, right? So it is a necessity. Of course, you can say that I don't clean up my bed. I just crawl into it every night and get up and leave it. That's okay too, but that is a lifestyle. And we see business succeed not because they are not tidy, and it is because they are tidy, but they are messy. You know, being tidy is one thing, being messy is a different thing. So hopefully this this conversation we have today, it will just help us to kind of understand why it is important and what do we do since it is important, and hope we change lives, right? That's a meaning, that's a reason why we are even here. We want to change lives, change businesses. So Erica, what do you think, right? That's the
Yes,
purpose.
yes, I agree with Ying, and thank you, Catherine, for the introduction. So I hope today we can go over some basic functions and we can explain how and what is the importance of having a good records keeping, especially for the owners who have small business or owns a small businesses. I hope this time will be not only efficient, but you can get something from this time. So I think we can start. Going from the importance of the bookkeeping to the business, right, Catherine?
Awesome. Yes, please. Can you mention some things, Erica, of why this is important? I mean, I know that Ying already started to allude to some of it. So if you can elaborate, that would be great.
I think personally, when I have a new client who talked to me about, hey, Erica, why do I need to have you reconcile my book instead of me going through all year? Of course, they will say, oh, I can save some money and I can save your time. However, I want to mention that if you own a business and if you're continue to successfully own that business, I think accounting is like a foundation to your businesses. So when you start your business, you need to have a strong and solid accounting basis in order for you to thrive and continue to build your business more successfully. Main reason is you can keep track of your, if you own as corporation or partnership, you really want to trace that basis you have. If you have multiple partners that's not within the family, you really want to get that sorted out. And also to have a good income and sort those income and expenses out, and like which transactions are deductible, which are not, is very important, because those two numbers together at the end, at the bottom line, it will give you a taxable income. We call it net income, and you want to have that accurately as your business grows through. I think that's the most fundamental and basic reason that you need to have a good solid base started when you grow up your business. In addition to that, for example, in 2020 and going on, we were in the environment of chaotic environment where the pandemic happened, and there were so many government assistance to the small business owners, such as PPP, EIDL loan. We have ERC credit. Our community CPA also helps with ERC credit. All those of government assistance follows by a good accounting. So you need to be able to provide good financial statement, good tax return that is based on your financial statement. So if you were to do your own books and then maybe your records does not match with your tax return, and it will be, it will bring some issues later on when you get audited, or those compliance parts. It really works in a very big amount, like because let's say you received PPP last year, doesn't mean that you're gonna get audited this year. It will come back and bite you after 5 years, 6 years. So you really want to have a good fundamental.
Thank you, Erica. I think that was a great summary. Ying, did you have anything to add to the importance of bookkeeping in business?
So one other things I want to say that, some clients will say, oh, I don't really need keep my books because I lost money anyway. You know, I don't really pay taxes. But that's a very narrow view of how our tax system works. So I always tell client that even though you don't make money, you lose money, the amount of money you lost is also very important to keep track of it, because these are literally your deposit that you have in the bank. What I mean by that is, let's say your first year you lose money and the second year you lose money. By the third year you start making money and you made so much, and you would wish that you could deduct those expenses that you had in the first year and the second year, but you don't have any bookkeeping going on. You didn't keep it. And you just think that, well, I for sure lost a lot of money, but I don't know what that number is. So I always say to business people that once you're committed to coming into a entrepreneurship, and you really is embarking upon a journey where there is no loss. There is practically no loss on from the dollar cents standpoint, because if you lose money, you would accumulating that loss. At the end of the day, if you really fold your company and you would have capital loss, or you would have ordinary loss, you would have loss deductions that against the income that you made. So if you have a full-time job, then against your full-time job, so you really don't lose. You lose in the sense that the business is not successful, but on the deduction side, you always will have a way to offset that loss with your income. So the income taxes you paid on that portion of income will come back to you, will become a refund to you, right? So in that sense, it's important. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're successful or not successful. And the bookkeeping is needed. It's almost like you want to declare you're married. How could you not go to court to get that marriage certificate? And it just doesn't even make a sense that you're in business and you don't have a bookkeeping process for yourself. So one word is a necessity, is not a choice.
Okay, so when it comes to method though, Ying, can you discuss a bit about cash basis accounting versus accrual accounting and some situations where one might be preferred over the other?
Sure. That topic alone could be an hour, 2 hours college class, but let's just make it really simple, like Chinglish way, right? So there is actually 3 kind of accounting method: cash method, accrual method, and others. A creative combination, right? We're just going to talk about cash method. Just keep in mind, when you are running business on cash method, that means what you received is what you received. What you spent came out of your bank. It is what you spent came out of your bank. So your book is literally based on your bank transactions, right? If you look at your bank statement, that would give you a sense of, I'm on cash accounting. My bank balance today is 5,000. It doesn't matter if my accountant was telling me that I made 5 million, but on my bank, I only have 5,000. So cash accounting says that you have 5,000, but accrual accounting could say you have 1 million. All right. So that is the difference. So for small businesses, a lot of times, when you use software, it's defaulted at the cash balance, the cash method. But one thing I want to point out to you, if you are a grocery store, let's say you are a grocery store, what is the natural, the best, more beneficial accounting method that you would choose? You can unmute yourself and tell me what that is. I bet you, George, what do you think? If it is a grocery store, and if it is a grocery store, what kind of accounting method should be? George is not answering. Okay. Most of the software are defaulted to cash, but actually should be accrual. Let me tell you why. when you have a grocery store, the people who come to pay you for purchase, they pay you right there, right? They go through the credit card, or they pay you cash, or they even write a check. So today they pay you, and tomorrow you deposit it already, so it's in your bank. So you recognize income on the cash basis, didn't you? Because even though you're accrual, but your income is coming in cash basis. And that's just the nature of your business. But what about your inventory purchase? So let's say December is your big month. You know you're going to sell so much. So you ordered a lot of things in December. And then by the end of December, and you were telling your vendor that don't cash my check, or you didn't even send a check out because you work on 30 days net, right? So you were like, oh, I'm going to pay my vendor like, in January. But if you're on cash method, you can't deduct that because you haven't even paid. So now you got a lot of income, you have no expenses to offset, right? So really for grocery store, it is the right thing to do to make it accrual. So when you send out the check to the vendor, that is already counted as your expenses on your book. But of course, it is not as simple as I said. Some people do cash on accounting, but when they file taxes, they do accrual. So there is a place on the tax return where you reconcile the cash and accrual, right? So those are useful tools, my friend out there. And if you have never ever thought of that's a tool for you, you are really not doing yourself a good service. You really need to learn that to use accounting method to plan for your accounting and plan for your taxes. This is one of the 3D tax planning we were talking about before, right? Accounting method is one of the dimension we were using.
Yep, definitely.
All right. It's getting too long, so I need to stop. Yeah.
No worries. It is a very complex question. Thank you. I think that is helpful though. So we have another question. Someone told us that they never keep their books monthly. They just do a summary at the end of the year. Erica, from your experience, is that a good way to do that? What are some of the pros and cons of doing this?
So it depends on the business and depends on the business preference. However, I will always recommend the earlier you do your reconciliation, the better it is. There are various reasons to support that theory because number one, most of us, we don't remember what we purchased last week. So if you do those accounting in a timely manner, it will increase your chance that your book is more accurate at the end of the year. And in order for you to have a good monthly reconciliation done, you will be able to trace your financial health of your company. So what is your income? What was your revenue this month? And how much expenses you had this month? Especially if you're running payroll and you have to deal with those payroll taxes, it is good to see how much difference you have this payroll next month, or how much difference in between the accounts you have. It really will give you an idea of how your business is doing. And if you see those monthly statements, if you can compare the numbers, if you can be able to read the financial statement, it will allow you to grow this idea, oh, here's how my business is doing, or I need to improve this based on that statement. Does that make sense?
Very much so. Ying, any other thoughts on doing it monthly versus end of year summary?
So just like Erica said, it really depends on your business, right? So if your transaction is heavy, it's just so much more timely when you do it more frequent and you recognize those expenses right away. And we have incidents where, nowadays there's so much fraud going on with the bank transactions. And if you don't do things timely, you could have a fraud withdrawal out of your bank account and you don't realize that 3 months later. So bank rec is, the word of bank reconciliation is really boring. It's very technical, right? Why do I need bank reconciliation? But actually another name of that is to check my spending and my income. How about that? to have a regular check of your income and expenses, that sounds like a good idea. That is what bank reconciliation is, right? So don't get wrapped up with the technical terms, but really knows when you are more dedicated to your business, a good accountant would bring out a good business. And I know every business owner can be a good accountant, but I also know that you have other things to be busy with. So it's not like you don't know how to do business. So we get your books over here. We're going to do it for you because you don't know how to do accounting. No, I actually believe that every business owner are better accountant than the accountant from outside. But hopefully the relationship you develop with your accountant and is long-term, so that become a second nature for the people you work with. I always recommended that when you choose accountant to do your bookkeeping, it's almost like you're selecting a housekeeper where you want this person to know everything where you place. So that takes time. And that also takes a dedication for that housekeeper to be there for you for long run. So definitely hiring a firm is a better choice than hiring a individual, because as an individual, we all have downtime, slow time, not happy time. If you only work with one bookkeeper, one person, to business owner, I would say too much risk. You need to work with a company so that company can provide you person after person and consistent help for you.
I just want to piggyback on what just Ying mentioned. I had this experience not once, not twice, more than 3 times. When I do my reconciliation, there was a time I found out that either a payroll check or a vendor check was cashed out twice. So it must be a bank error, but they did not know until you reconcile your book. So I can match your credit size 100% with 0 error because our software will not let me go to the next step unless I finalize. And I could not finalize. If I have even 1 cent error, it will not let me finalize the book. So we occasionally find those payroll checks might be duplicated and cashed out twice. And also vendor check could sometimes cash out twice. So you can also prevent those error mistakes. And I can assure those checks amount were really like a large amount, like over $10,000. So overall, if you could control those errors in your business, because majority of the time, the owners or the managers are really busy with their own work. So it's a good idea for you to have someone you trust and then have them control your accounting side.
Yeah.
And now, you know, with the technology nowadays, you know how you get a check, you could mobile deposit that. And then you can also take that check to the bank to deposit the second time. So the duplication of checks happens so much more now than before. So, and also in the old time, the check has this maker line. The cartridges is actually using magnetic powder. So when the check goes through the banking system, it reads automatically. So now, because everybody printing checks out of a normal printer, so the magnetic strip doesn't work anymore. So the bank actually started to accept those because there's a lot of them. And when they're accepting that, if the system is not updating timely, say I mobile deposit tonight, then tomorrow morning I go to deposit it one more time. I got 2 deposit. I got 1 check. I deposit twice. The bank won't realize that until around 3 o'clock the same day. So with that, this is why as a business owner, we need to be really vigilant about technology. Technology had brought us convenience. Technology also now bringing us very easy way to lose money. I'm not even making this one up. I myself almost lost $120,000 in one transaction. It's already gone. Actually, it already gone out of my account. And what happened is, you know, we logged into our own account, and then the computer freeze. So my staff decided to go for lunch and come back later to deal with that. So while she went for lunch, our account was freezed in front of the computer, but someone was behind the scene moving the money out of our account to UK. Okay, so they moved 3 amounts. The first one was about $1 million, which I don't have that amount in our account. The second one was about $500,000. I don't have that amount in the account. The third one is 120,000 with change. I have that amount in my account. So that went just like that. It took me 6 months and losing about $10,000 to get this money back, because I already went on to UK and going through all the conversions. So the US dollar converted to Canadian converted to pound, and then, you know, converted back. So by the time I finally trace the money back, it is number one, not guaranteed I'm gonna get it. Number two, and even if I get it, it will be a smaller amount. So those are real. We're talking about a real story here. So bank reconciliation, folks, are you kidding me? You need to get that done every month.
Awesome. And then, so when it comes to tracking expenses, Erica, what are some recommendations and suggestions you have on doing that, and some common mistakes maybe that people do?
Just to make it more smoother, we always suggest you to have a monthly accounting going on rather than year end, because you cannot remember what's going on. But in terms of deductible expenses, I would say in general, the expenses you occur to run your business, like those operating expenses, can be deductible. So for example, if you run a company, you need to have some money spent for advertising. So you can book those advertising as advertising expenses. In order for you to run your company, you need to hire people. So you have this payroll. We have some more in-depth going on, because payroll is a very tricky part. So you can have payroll taxes. Payroll taxes has a lot of sides. So you have your employer side taxes. You have your employee side of taxes. So you need to have a person trying to manage all those in a back scenario. Let's say if you own a restaurant, you need to purchase inventories. A lot of the times, let's say once you purchase the inventory, they're not automatically deducted as an inventory. You need to convert it as the cost of goods sold in order to expense it out. However, if you're the one doing your own book, and if you are new to the business and you don't have a solid accounting background, you will try to expense everything else, saying that, oh, this one, so I was on a trip for this food convention, and this is the coffee that I tried to treat myself. You will deduct every single thing. There was some point, one of our new client came in. She brought her own financial statement that she reconciled, and she tried to deduct all the loan payment. So when she formed this company, she got some loans from the SBA or the bank. They were trying to expense loan payment. Those are not, so loan payments are not deductible. It will reduce your liability on your balance sheet, but not deductible. So it is deductible. The interest expenses are deductible, not the loan payment. So this kind of miscellaneous things where you think, oh, this would be deductible, however, it's not. And you will, vice versa, you will find a lot of things, oh, this might not be deductible, however, we could make it deductible. Yeah, so I think there are a lot of misconceptions where you think, oh, so because I'm running this business, says everything is deductible. However, you need a little bit more, I would say, professional help in order to have a clean records of your business bookkeeping.
Awesome, thanks. So speaking of professional help, then at what point does a business say that they're very small? How does someone decide when they need professional bookkeeping services? Erica or Ying, either of you can answer this.
So let me give a general rule of thumb. And the rule of thumb, you know how when you run business, someone will tell you that, oh, about 10% of your sales should be spent on marketing, right? That's a rule of thumb. That's a kind of industry suggestions. So industry suggestions on professional service like CPA, like attorney, and like business mentoring, those kind of things, that is the 5%. So if you make $100,000 on sales, and a 5% of that give you 5,000, right? So that 5,000 would be your spending for a CPA service or for accounting service, professional service. Not that you don't know how to do it. And I always tell my folks that it is not because you don't know how to do it. It's because you want to make sure it is done right and done well without you spending too much of time to think about it, or without you thinking doing it. So that's where the value comes in. So I would say rule of thumb, and for professional service is around 5%. The bigger you are, the more money you're going to put in for that. And the rule of thumb for accounting services, that whenever you felt you do not know your business pictures anymore, you felt like, oh yeah, I'm making money, I just don't really know how much I make, but I know I'm making money. And when you talk like that, you really needed to hire an accountant. Or you say, well, I don't make money, I lose money, so I don't need an accountant. When you talk like that, you need an accountant. So I guess that's my 2 cents.
Erica, do you have any other thoughts on that when clients come to you?
When clients come to me, they'll say, "Oh, Erica, my business is not big enough, and I cannot afford you guys' time, your services yet." And I would always say, "Okay, I'll give you some general idea. Okay, you want to keep your monthly ledger this way, and then I will set up an appointment with the client and ask me to come visit me at the end of the year, so we can go over those expenses together, and he can fix the mistakes or error he has. So at least with short amount of given time, that can be fixed, and then we can file the taxes in the right position." And we always say to them, so whenever you think you're ready, whenever you feel like you need our help, we will always be here, so we can catch up where he left and start from there.
Awesome, thank you. So now on to kind of a different topic. Let's explore some accounting tools, right? So you all know that there's a variety of software in the marketplace, and they all have their own niche. Ying, can you mention a few that are common that you've seen, and also talk a bit about Community CPA's accounting software?
Sure. So basically, as soon as we talk about accounting software, I know all of you are thinking of Quickbooks, and all of you are thinking of Quicken. And so the other software for small businesses, Excel, I call that a software too. Excel can do accounting. And then of course you have other one, Wave Accounting and Xero and Sage. All of these are accounting software, but come to accounting software. So one will, we get client to ask us, just tell us which one, we want you to tell us which one we should use. So it is really almost like, you buying outfit and, you come through and you say, just give me an outfit. Of course, we have to know what's your personality and how you want to dress up, right? So in business, the most we see is the QuickBook users and the Quicken users. I want to explain to you that we use, at Community CPA, our client, we use Accounting CS. Accounting CS is a software produced by Thomson Reuters. It is really a professional accounting software. So they're not coming with belt and whistles like QuickBook. When you write a check, it looks like a check. That screen shows up like a check. But when you do deposit, it came up like the bank deposit ticket right there for you. Those are graphics. Those are the what we call the user friendly. But user friendly normally doesn't come with efficiency. That's the difference between softwares. When you have a user friendly softwares, they are made for you to do one thing and one thing for one client. But when you work with, let's say you have a multiple business and you're using QuickBooks, then I know you already realize how cumbersome that is, because you have to close one file, open another one, close this one, open another one. So it doesn't offer you that efficiency of looking at multiple businesses at the same time. But accounting CS is designed for you to be efficient. So when you write checks, and that screen will give you all your companies, which company do you want to write check? You say 1, 2, 3, I need to write check. So the checks is right there. You can be on the check writing screen for multiple companies at the same time. With that, kind of tells you why Community CPA is using accounting CS. So obvious, right? We want efficiency. So when we do bank rec, we can knock off bank rec 1, bank rec 2, bank rec 3, and all in the same screen, and just with the one click, then it will go through. So, but with QuickBooks, it's not that way. And the other thing I want to mention to you is on the QuickBooks side of things and the Quicken side of things, they are well used by small businesses. So IRS know that they invested in the license. So the auditors are actually don't need you to print anything out from QuickBooks. Their first question to you is, what software do you use? So you open your mouth, goes, I use QuickBooks. And then the next thing the IRS wants is that, oh, great, you use QuickBooks, then may I have your QuickBooks files? And do you realize that the QuickBooks files doesn't really separating the year? And look at what's in your screen right now. And this is the screen. And I got for you because I want you to see how IRS asks for QuickBooks information. Look at the highlight. Right? Look at the highlight. It says that the QuickBooks administrator's username and password for backup files requested above. Please know that you may temporarily change your password before copying the backup file for IRS. And then you may change the password back for your standard one. So they don't need you to do anything. They want login for your QuickBooks. So this is, oh,
sorry. Did you want it again?
Okay, so,
Yep.
no, I am okay now.
Okay.
So this is just the IDR. IDR means information request, right? That is a typical audit files that when you have QuickBooks. The reason we show you that is just to have you understand the accounting software is like this. If you use something that popular, and the IRS has a reason to invest in that license. So if you make adjustment to QuickBooks, you don't know what you're doing, that will be the very question you will be asked. Why are you deleting $1 million every year at the end of the year? And you say, well, that's because I'm writing down my inventory. And then the next question will be, tell me why you are writing down your inventory. Do you have record to show $1 million worth of inventory and need to be obsolete or written off? So a lot of those are would come forward, and you, like I said, it doesn't separate in years. You get audited for 2019 with QuickBooks, you'll be audited for the surrounding years as well, because you already give the data to IRS. So talking about QuickBooks, and that's probably one of the biggest drawback I consider QuickBooks has. And also QuickBooks is so user friendly. So everybody can use QuickBooks without training. Do you know what that means? That means you're doing it wrong, you don't even know. And this is where one client come back to us and goes, oh, you know, I have a great QuickBooks. I have a great bookkeeping. I use QuickBooks. It's actually balanced, and I know it is balanced. Balanced means what? Balanced means that even more wrong, and we have to dig more to figure out why you have a mistake. You're even balanced. Of course, you book your mom gave you $20,000 instead of a liability. You actually booked into income. So of course it is balanced because you're booking it wrong. So there are those things, not that you are not understanding the books. It's just the accounting language is a different language. Like I speak Chinglish, and that accounting is literally some different languages. But make sure that you rely, you know, I come back to the same point. And you come to this webinar already, so you really do know us. And now it is your choice that to make sure that your bookkeeping is actually done cleanly. It's almost like walking into your house every day, your house is clean. You imagine that feeling. And that feeling worth something. So it is not completely waste of money. I consider that is something called investment. That's why some of the CPA firms, they're actually talking to people about, okay, how much you want to invest? Instead of saying the fee we're going to charge you, they're saying how much you want to invest. It is, I think it's an interesting approach, but at our firm, and we still want to call that is a fee, but it is a fee that not wasted. You will get tenfold back with good accounting service. I tell my folks that if you want to save taxes, it's not about filling up the forms for taxes. It is all about accounting, because this is where that saving will come in.
Excellent. So great. Say you've sold someone on the accounting service. If they want to work with Community CPA, Erica, what is the full process of the onboarding, and can you walk us a bit through what
Yes.
accounting
So if you decide to be our client, you will sign an engagement letter, and as soon as you sign engagement letter, me or other people from the team member will contact you, and will help you set up your portal. I will share my screen real quick so we can see the portal all together. Okay, so this is our Community CPA website, and on the top right side, we will see client login. So let's say you will be assigned a login, and the password will be linked to your personal email address. So you will log into this portal. So once you log into this portal, looks like this client, this is a demo client that I set it up temporarily for this session. So this client uses the payroll, so it will ask you to enter time, print reports, checks. However, for today, I'm going to focus on the client flow side. So when you log into this portal, you will see those icons and different types of tabs. So Accounting CS is the program that we use, but you also have access to go in and print reports. However, you don't have to go even that far because you want to use this. So Client Flow allows you to submit the data in here, so we can exchange the data, or we can publish our financial statement to you, so you have access to view your monthly financial statement. So let's say your accountant finished your book and she reported and published the monthly financial statement. Then you will log into this portal and you will simply click, let's say, November financial statement, for example. In this statement, you will see your address. This is the letter page. And the second page will give you 4 different columns. So the first one will show you your monthly income statement. So for the month of November, from November 1st to November 30th, this was your revenue, this was your cost of goods sold, deduct all the expenses, so you get your operating income. If you have other income, let's say if you received EID, a loan advance, that could be another income. Your bank interest could be other income, and you can deduct other expenses, so you will be given a net income. Your third page will give you the balance sheet of your company. So you will be able to see, okay, this is the amount as of November 30th, the ending balance of your bank account. This is your ending inventory of your shop. This is your account receivable. And let's say if you have a building, you will have a building here, equipment. Let's say you have a credit card payable or other liability. Everything that's So it's like taking a picture of this moment of your business status. It will be shown under your financial statement. And when you go down a little bit more, you will see general ledger. General ledger will give you all those individual, every single transaction to support our financial statement. So how we came up with this number. Oftentimes, if you're the client who really loves reading financial statement, there will be some client, hey, Erica, I spent this money for advertising. However, you booked it on their computer. So then, okay, thank you for letting me know. I'll move the transaction into the correct chart of account. So these are the deductible expenses we have, from advertising to here I see utilities. It is alphabetized. And also your number year to date will match with your income statement and balance sheet. So these are the types of financial statement that we provide to you. Also, let's say this client bought a car and they want to send the titles and supporting documents to us. So we have copy of what they have. That it's simply you go to the same web page that I showed you earlier. And instead of clicking those files, you want to upload whatever you have. So to upload, just simply clicking this upload icon, and it will give you an option to add files. So when you add files, it will give you, it will browse your, let me see.
It will go to, it will browse your hard drive.
Yes, it will browse the hard drive. And here I will say, okay, so this is my webinar. Let's say I want to upload some reports, and I will click this report, open, and it will show up as a report document. So this one is an Word document, so it's here. And you want to click Start Upload. And here, you can see the report that you upload. And whatever you see in this screen, your accountant also has access to it. So for example, if you have something like your ID or anything that's related to your confidential information, you don't feel comfortable sharing via email or phone, this is the portal that you want to use, because these are encrypted screens. Only people with access, limited access, can see your screen. Ying, do you want to add anything to this? I think this is pretty good.
Yeah, so
portal view.
basically, the file exchanges happens within the client portal. So we offer those portal to clients when they are a regular regular clients, customers, and when you upload whole slew of document, instead of having you going through your email, we actually let you do it on the portal. So that portal become your communication tools. I have a client, and she actually runs a business, and a very busy lady. And she was telling me that she reviews her financial statement. She designated her bathroom time and for financial statement review on her phone, so she can get onto the portal and open up financials and start looking at it. And then it's really becoming a very regular, steady stream of time to study what's on the portal and what affecting the business. So it was a really effective way for her. So she enjoyed having things on her phone. And our portal, the one you see right here, Erica showing you, it is on the computer, but it is the same thing on your phone. You can log in from our app, seeing exactly what you see right here. So it is the future accounting, folks. And if you haven't really used that in your practice with your accountant, they're behind. And I would say that there should be no one right now have to drop off paper files and email everything, and the things can be accomplished within the portal. So that's what we offer, and we proud of ourselves as pretty advanced in technology, and we continue to be that way. So we have this YouTube channel, right? And you know, the YouTube channel we have is really the place. And Kat, can you display YouTube channel? So the YouTube channel is really where we disseminating our knowledge. You know how in the past you would come and sit down with me and then we talk about what's going on and we give you the knowledge. And today's learning is different. You know, so 10 years ago when I do practice, absolutely, everybody come, we sit, we meet, and we talk, right? But nowadays the knowledge are so fast. For example, PPP, how many times did PPP change? Someone tell me. Actually, 5 times. 5 times since March of 2020. So PPP, the rule changes 5 times. So with those kind of 5 times, you think we're going to sit down for 5 times to go through that? No, we actually cannot sit down for 5 times. So the knowledge is disseminated through the YouTube right here. And you can tell, see all the videos that you see. So we want you to come over here to actually click those icons and learn what you need to learn. Once you got the base going, you are a good entrepreneur in business. Really, you signed up on entrepreneurship, okay? It is different than you just be the cashiers at Walmart, and then you probably just need to learn that POS system. But once you sign up on entrepreneurship, the learning scope, there is no scope. There's everything you need to know. And we, as a CPA firm, we care about everything related to money. So anything that impacts your bottom line, everything that bringing you more money, it is here. So you want to really kind of tap into our knowledge and learn. And then when you come to see us, or we have one-on-one session, that question, the knowledge you have, the question you ask will be much more meaningful. We can get to solutions right away, or we can change gears right away because, you know, things are changing. So we're changing too. So that's kind of my comments for literally leading the conversation to the end, because we want to make sure that we are learning in the new way. And not because we don't have time for you, it's because the changes are so rapidly happening out there. Even computer softwares are changing rapidly. So to really have a conversation with you going through changes is not practical. Nobody is doing it. If your accountant doesn't do what we do and getting knowledge out to you online, they're actually making you feel they're not doing anything. You know, I literally have clients tell me yesterday saying that we have done the most work as far as he knows in the accounting CPA firms around the state, because I'm pretty sure the other CPA firms also working very hard. But the thing is, the way they're working hard versus the knowledge, how that transpired to be something different, that wasn't matching. So right now, right this moment, you're in this webinar, I want you to realize that you can't learn things the same way anymore. And if you are here, you already grasping the essence of changes and how quickly knowledge transpires. And hopefully, and you know that this is the way you grab knowledge, whether it's 1 piece, 2 pieces, and 3 pieces today, but you keep on doing this and you will stay on top of the game.
Wonderful. Thanks for those words, Ying. And then Erica, do you have any other final advice as we conclude here today? Also, everyone who's on here, feel free to put your comments or questions in the chat box.
Or unmute, you can talk.
Yes, or
this
you
is
can
the
unmute.
open, yeah, this is actually an open platform, you can talk. I haven't seen Janet for a long time. Yay.
Oh, you're muted, Janet.
Yeah. Janet actually runs a skincare practice, right, Janet?
I do.
Yeah,
Or
look
it runs
at
me
you.
sometimes.
Your skin looks so good. Yeah.
You're sweet. Thank you very much. When am I going to see you again, darling?
Yeah, once all the shots are done, right? Did you got your first shot already?
I got both, baby.
Oh, that's great.
That's what happens when you get old. You know, when you get old, yeah,
You got a
get,
priority.
yeah, you get to the front of the line. So
Yeah,
anyway,
I need to bring
so
out
I
my
just-
real ID so I can prove to people that I'm really old. I should
Oh.
be in the front line.
Oh, it's always so good to see you. I'm sorry I jumped on late, and I'll watch the video later, but I'm really
Yeah.
interested in this, you know, streamlining this accounting because who wants your job, not me.
I love my job. You know,
I know that
we really do have our core. What we do, we don't feel like we are working. And I really, you know, I really tell you that accounting is something that when I work on it, I don't feel that I'm working. I really hope every one of you find that for yourself. Then you can subcontract everything else out, right? Just do things that you want to do. That's really, I don't know, I think is a big gift for
it is
life
it
if
is.
you could identify that.
I
Yeah,
totally
I know
agree.
several of you here and you identified that already. You know what you do, and that doesn't feel like a work. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. It's the way it should be. Keep everybody busy
Yes.
doing what they love.
All right. So Catherine, and let's wrap up. And for today's session, we have 4 minutes left.
Yes, okay. So thank you, Ying and Erica, for your thoughts and guidance on the issue of accounting. So we'll conclude our session today, and I want to thank everyone who joined us. Please remember that the next one will be on Saturday, April 17th, 3 p.m. Central Time, of course, and then we will address a different topic at that time and bring other thoughts and voices into that. So in the meantime, of course, I dropped the YouTube channel in the chat box. So if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. And we put all our videos on there for you to review. If it's something like PPP or ERC, you'll want the latest ones, but we also have content that is applicable for a long period of time, right? So you can go in there and learn different business practices, and give us a call if you ever have questions. Phone number 515-288-3188, or you can send me an email. I believe I've been in contact with most of you, Catherine@communitycpa.com. So anyway, thank you again for joining us, and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, Catherine.
Bye.
Have a great day.